Good morning, Evans Park and Franklin Avenue, and welcome back to week 4 of our art online learning. This week, our theme is going to be all about color. Now, understanding color and where it comes from and how to make it and the relationship between one color and another is called color theory. So to get started, we're going to learn about the color wheel first. So boys and girls, the man you're looking at in the photo is named Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton came up with his theory of color way back in the 1600s. He was able to show that clear light could make colors. He arranged the colors around a circle to form a color wheel that we still use today. Okay, so boys and girls, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start to learn about the color wheel. Now, knowing how to put together a color wheel is going to help you greatly understand where a color comes from and how to mix it and how to create new colors. We're going to talk about the primary colors. The primary colors are the first 3 colors that go on the color wheel because by mixing them, they will create all the other colors. So the first color that I'm going to use is yellow. And I'm going to put yellow on top here. And after yellow, I'm going to take red. And I'm going to put red over here. Now, if you're going to try this at home, you obviously can draw a circle. But just for the demonstration, I'm just putting color on a clear surface in front of me so you can see. And then finally, on the other side, I'm going to be putting my blue. Girls, now that I laid out my primary colors, it's time for me to put on the secondary colors. Now the secondary colors are colors made by mixing 2 primary colors together. So in between the yellow and the blue, I'm going to put green. Green is made by mixing yellow and blue. Now after green, if I move to this side, you will see yellow and red. And mixing those 2 colors together will give me orange. And moving down to the bottom of the wheel, and I'm going to move the camera down just a touch. There we go. I have blue and red, and mixing those 2 together will give me purple or violet. So if we look at our wheel, we have our primary, which is the yellow, the red, and the blue. And now we have our secondary, which is the orange, the green, and the purple. But in between, there is a third color. And those colors are called tertiary colors. Those colors are made by mixing a primary and a secondary together. If I'm going to start here, and if I take yellow and green and mix it, I'm going to get a color called yellow-green. When you name these colors, you always put the primary name first. So this one here is called yellow-green, not green-yellow. And I think I'm going to, for my demonstration, make that a bit more green here for you. Now moving down the wheel, I have yellow, yellow-green, green, and here will become blue-green. Notice I'm saying blue first. You always name the primary color before the secondary color. So I loaded up my brush with blue and green to make blue-green. Now moving down the wheel, I have blue and violet to create blue-violet. Now moving into this section, I have red and violet, which will give me red-violet. So I'm putting more red than blue to give me more of a raspberry color. Moving over to this section, I have orange and red, therefore creating red-orange. And finally, moving into my last part, where I have yellow and orange, will give me yellow-orange. And now that my wheel is complete, I'm going to go back. Just gonna fix up some of my colors that have to be faded. Okay, so boys and girls, you can see how the color wheel is created. Now, the reason why it's a wheel is because there is no beginning and no end to the circle. So when we see a rainbow, the reason why we don't see certain colors is because certain colors, like say orange and blue, are not touching. Now if I take orange and blue and I was to put them together, I create brown. So mixing opposite colors on the color wheel give you brown and almost like muddy colors. But we're going to get into complement colors and all of that other stuff in a minute, but I wanted to show you how the wheel was created. So boys and girls, that's how Sir Isaac Newton came up with the color wheel. But we need to figure out how he took the white light and was able to break it up to see all the other colors. Because the white light comes from the sun, which you can see shining above me on over my shoulder. And Isaac Newton used something called a prism. Now, I don't have the type of prism he had, but I do have a chandelier in my house, and I was able to take out one of the crystals, and I'll show it to you right here. And a prism helps break up the white light. And what happens is the white light travels down from the sun, it enters the Earth's atmosphere, and it will go through the prism. And I have a piece of white paper here, and we're gonna see if we can take the white light and break it up to see all the other colors. Okay, so boys and girls, here's my piece of white paper, and I have my prism, and I'm gonna put it down onto the paper, and just turn it so it hits the right angle. And do you see what's happening? I see it right there. Look, look. There is the rainbow. I'm gonna try to move my camera in a bit so you can see. I see the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the indigo, and the violet. If I move down, do you see that rainbow right there that just formed? Isn't that incredible? So the white light is coming down from the sun. It is going through the prism, and the prism is breaking up that color, or the white light, to show me the color. And that's how Sir Isaac Newton figured out how to arrange the color. So boys and girls, let's go over what a complement color is now. Complement colors are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. So for example, orange and blue are complement colors. Yellow and violet are complement colors. And green and red are complement colors. They look great together side by side, but when you put them together and you mix them, you get something called a neutral, or a brown, or a gray. Now, orange and blue will give you a nice warm brown, where red and green will give you a cooler brown, and yellow and violet will give you more of what I like to call a muddy brown. White and black are not on the color wheel, and that's because white is called a tint. White can lighten a color, but white is not a color, and black is the absence of color, and it can darken a color. So black creates something called a shade. Now, if the sun was not shining down onto the earth, we would have total blackness, and that is therefore the absence of color, because as we learned in Sir Isaac Newton's experiment, the color is coming from the white light. Now, colors that are side by side on the color wheel are called analogous colors, because analogous colors are colors that harmonize together. So I can go around the wheel and pick many analogous colors, but just to show you, yellow, orange, red-orange, and red would be analogous colors because they blend beautifully together. If I look at the other side of the wheel, I can use yellow, yellow-green, and green. Now, warm and cool colors are colors that are basically divided down the color wheel. So if I take my white paint and just divide it up, on the one side I have the warm colors, and on the other side I have the cool colors. So warm colors would be colors that remind us of fire, like yellow, orange, and red. And cool colors are colors that remind us of the earths and water. So we would have green, blue, and violet. And we're going to talk about those colors in our grade level links. So at this point, now that we talked about the color wheel a bit, I'd like you to click on your grade level link, and we're going to continue our color theory lessons. If you master your grade level lesson, please feel free to click on another grade level and try to see what they're doing as well.